All right, y'all. We're in the last month of the year. And not only just the last month of the year, we're in the last month of the decade. And this is time for us, right now, it's time for us to wake up. Yep, wake up. I know it's some crust in our eyes, got a couple residues. We've been on vacation, we ate some good food, our hands are folded just like this. But we don't want to keep our hands folded for so long that poverty jumps on us. The book of Proverbs talks about, us gently folding our hands, and then poverty can jump on us if we delay, if we are sitting here too long, if we're too comfortable just sitting here, like I'm sitting here right now. If I continually just sit here, things won't happen, because in order for it to happen, it requires my action. It requires for me to get up. I have prayed for the things that I am hoping and having the faith that God wants me to do, but it requires my action. My inaction will cause things not to happen, and then I'll get mad and say, well, God, I thought you wanted me to do this, I thought you wanted me to do that. But he's waiting for us to act, and right now it's a wake-up call to you and me. It's time for us to get up and get into action. We're continually waiting, we're continually sitting here, just like I'm sitting here right now. And the Lord is calling for us to stand up and get to work. He's wanting us to work, he's wanting us to move, he's wanting to move in our lives, but in order for him to move in our lives, it requires for us to move as well. It's time for us to have that faith and put faith to action. And this is a call to action for not just you, it's a call to action for me. Next year, in 2020, it starts a new decade. A new decade, y'all. We've been in this new millennium for just about 20 years, the end of this month. And we need to be able to be reflective and looking back and saying, what have we done in these years? In this year alone, or not only just this year, in this decade, what have we done? Have we put our faith to action? Have we continually have the faith without the works? The Bible talks about the faith without works being dead. Have we been dead? Have we been asleep? The book of Ephesians chapter 5 talks about awaking from the dead, or arising from the sleep, and Christ will give you light. It's time for us to walk in the light. It's time for us to hold up the things that we're asking God to do in our lives, and hold it up to the light and see if there's light in it, if light is able to shine through it, if God is in the things that we're wanting him to do. We're continually asking God for things, and we're not sure if it's even in his plans. It's time for us to stop having God co-signing plans that he's not involved in, and it's not in alignment with his will. It's time for us to recognize when it's not in his will and stop doing them. It's time for us to stand up and get this faith and put this faith to action. Will you join me? This is a wake-up call. I don't have an alarm clock, but this message is a wake-up call to you and myself. It's time for us to get off of our hands, stop folding our hands for so long, and put our faith to action. Because what good is our faith without our works? Faith without works is dead, and none of us that are listening to this message is dead. So it's time for us to wake up and let the light of Christ shine through our lives.